Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I wanted to share with you a few different gestures that I think can be really helpful and save you some time when it comes to hand lettering on the iPad with the Apple Pencil. So I absolutely love using the iPad for hand lettering, and I actually got my first iPad Pro when it very first came out, and I have loved it ever since, but I'm not like a super techie person. So it did take me a little bit of time to get used to hand lettering on an iPad versus a piece of paper with a pen. So I wanted to share some of the gestures, and when I say gestures, I mean like shortcuts to help you create hand lettering maybe a little bit more quickly or easily. So I'm going to move through this pretty quickly, but I will leave the timestamps in the description box below if you want to come back and rewatch a certain portion, or if you forgot one of them and want to find it again later. So when it comes to hand lettering on the iPad Pro, I tend to lift my pen after about every stroke. And I do this on paper as well. And so if I am wanting to delete something, I can delete them by using the 2-finger tap gesture. So I can delete each of my movements by pressing with 2 fingers. So I can just go back and you will see them disappear one by one. Now each time they disappear is when I had lifted my pen and started a new stroke. So if I want to get those back, I can use 3 fingers and I can tap to bring them back. So again, that's 2 fingers to undo, and you can do this up to 250 times. But one thing that I want to mention is that when you leave this canvas, you cannot do this again. So if I were to go back to my gallery and then come back, I can no longer undo or redo those. It kind of resets. So if you want to be able to use that gesture, just make sure that you stay in your canvas until you kind of have it how you want it. And then when you move out of the canvas, it kind of acts like it has like saved your place. All right, so the next gesture is if you have a lot of different things that you want to remove, but you want to do it quickly. You can do this by taking 3 fingers and swiping left and right. And then I'm going to undo that and then show you again 3 fingers and swipe left and right. Now, when you are doing your 2-finger tap to undo, you can hold it down and it'll do it quickly as well. And same goes for the redo. You can hold those 3 down and it will bring them back quickly as well. But if you just want to clear everything on the canvas, you can use 3 fingers down and swipe back and forth. That being said, this is only going to clear everything on your layer. So if you have only 1 layer, then it's going to clear the entire layer. But let's say I duplicated everything and now I have 4 layers. If I clear the whole canvas, it's just going to clear that layer. So if you have a lot of different layers and you just want to clear everything, what you can do over here is come to your layers, and then you can take your fingers and just swipe those layers together, and then you can erase it that way. Or you can just clear the layer here if you prefer to do it that way. So the next gesture that I want to show you is if you want to turn this into a full screen and you don't want these bars here, you can do a 4-finger tap, and that's going to get rid of those. Now as you can see, my canvas is a little bit smaller here. So the next gesture I want to show you is that you can just use your fingers to pinch to make it smaller or larger. You can also use your fingers to rotate the canvas. So this is really helpful if you're doing detail work and you want to zoom that screen in, and then if you want to pull it back out to kind of see the overall look of what you're working on. If you want to make it just full screen, all you do is take your finger and pinch and then let it go, and that will give you your full screen. And if you want these toolbars back, you just press your 4 fingers down and there they are. Just a side note, I have a video on how to change the color of this if you're looking for that. I know a lot of people ask. There's a dark and a light interface, so I can link that video in the description box below. It's like 1 or 2 minutes long and it's super easy. Just thought I would mention that if you are wondering how to get your interface to be light or dark. The next thing that I want to show you is kind of a gesture or a shortcut that I really don't use very often, and to be honest, it kind of gets in my way more than it helps me, but I do think it's helpful to know because number 1, you may want to use this, or number 2, which is how I was, is it kept happening and I didn't realize how it was happening. And so that is, if you have the Apple Pencil 2, you can tap on your Apple Pencil and it will switch from your brush to your eraser. So this happens to me sometimes where I'm hand lettering and then all of a sudden my brush isn't working, and I realize it's because it has switched to eraser mode. So you simply just tap on the side of your Apple Pencil. I have a case on mine so you can't exactly see it, but there's a flat part of this Apple Pencil, and this is where you tap it. If you want to go back and forth between your brush and your eraser, you can see it right here going back and forth. I'll zoom in there so you can see. So I just double tap and it goes to my brush, and then I can hand letter with it. But if I want to erase something, then I double tap here and it goes to my eraser, and now I can erase what I have done. So again, this may not be helpful for you if you don't want to use that gesture. To me, it's just as easy to kind of go back and tap here. But if this keeps happening to you and you're not sure why, your eraser keeps getting turned on, it may be that you are double tapping your pencil here. I do not believe that the first Apple Pencil has this feature, so if you have this completely circle Apple Pencil, you may not have noticed this, but if you have the Apple Pencil 2, then this is a feature that it does have. So I hope that this helped you and gave you some shortcuts for your hand lettering in the Procreate app. If you want a full tutorial, I have a couple of those where I start from the very beginner basics, where I show you how to use Procreate for your hand lettering. I have one that's a little bit quicker of a pace if you just want to watch it and kind of get an overview, and then I have a slower one where you can kind of follow along at your own speed if you prefer. I will link them both here. I hope that helps you so much. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. You can also find me over on Instagram, which I will link in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.